Capital Connection continues now.
Welcome back. This week was Women in Construction Week, and to honor that, a ton of women from across the state came to the Capitol to advocate for more recruitment and opportunities in the trades fields for women specifically. Joining us now is Beth Berenson from the Chicago Women in Trades. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I want to talk, we've talked about this on the show before. It makes sense, 50% of the workforce is women. 5% of the trades jobs in the state are held by women. That is a huge discrepancy.
That's right.
We were here this week to talk about how maybe we could close that gap a little bit and create more opportunities for women in these fields. Let's start here. How does a vast gap like that get created?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a few things. I mean, occupational segregation, where even as early as middle school, sort of the way girls are taught about kind of the careers that are available to them, kind of the career options they might go into, starts from a very early age. So some of that's just educating young girls about their sort of opportunities and options. But in a real way, it's also about just systemic barriers in the industry. So we know that women get less hours on the trades jobs than their male counterparts. We know that women deal with more cases of harassment and discrimination on the job and tend to not complete their apprenticeship programs or even leave their careers early because of these experiences. And so it's really a lot of the work that we're advocating for is that, that the state really continue its strong leadership in trying to remove those systemic barriers that make it harder for women to not just enter these careers, but stay in them and succeed in them in the long term.
What does removing those kinds of barriers look like? Is it more regulation? Is it more job protections? Is it just more opportunities on the front end? Is it all of the above?
It is all of the above. And to give a shout out to Illinois, we have been a leader really in trying to really tackle this problem. So the state has been investing a lot of money in pre-apprenticeship programs through Illinois Works, which was passed with the Capitol bill, through the CEJA pre-apprenticeship program. IDOT has a highway construction careers and training program. All of those programs are really intended to build a pipeline of qualified individuals to enter these trade construction apprenticeships. And they do a really great job of graduating women, graduating people of color, really trying to get a workforce that looks like represents the whole state of Illinois. But we need not just that supply, but we also need the demand. So I think a piece of that is really making sure that contractors are doing their jobs in hiring women, placing women, retaining women, making sure that work sites are safe and respectful for women. And the state also has a role in that because, of course, the state contracts for a lot of construction work. So that's part of the reason we're down here today too, is to really ask the state as a construction project owner to really be making sure that their contractors are kind of espousing the same values as the General Assembly and making sure that the workforce looks like the whole state.
We highlighted this initiative last year, and when we talked last year, it was almost I believe it was the first time that there was this real effort, the women in trades coming to the Capitol in this way, and it was almost a planting of a flag. We are here. We want you to listen to us. Was a lot of the message. Do you feel like that has stuck when you're around this year, when you're talking to lawmakers, that they not only are aware of the push, but they are listening in the way that you would like them to?
Yeah, I absolutely think we've had really warm reception both last year and this year. People are very excited always to see tradeswomen from their district come and visit them. I think we also, this year, we're really focusing on a resolution that talks about some of the attacks that we're facing at the federal level on diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. And I think that the General Assembly is really interested to hear sort of what they can do to counteract some of those attacks and really kind of step in and try to fight for tradeswomen. So it's been a really great reception this year.
Does that conflict? I mean, we're talking about opening the door, opening these avenues, getting rid of these systemic barriers, while we're also seeing those kinds of programs get eliminated at the federal level. Is that a direct conflict? Are those the same, one and the same that we're talking about, or could they be kind of looped into those larger federal conversations?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're all sort of in the same ecosystem on kind of the work that people are trying to do. And I know, from Chicago Women in Trades, we have long been a training provider to get women prepared to enter in the workforce. We've done a lot of advocacy and technical assistance of industry partners, but we're really in a moment right now where we're really trying to put, a clear stake in the ground that discrimination, no matter what happens at the federal level, remains illegal, right? It's illegal in state law, it's illegal in federal law. And that a lot of the initiatives that sort of are being attacked right now are really just initiatives to protect equal access and equal opportunity, and really to address those discriminatory behaviors. So, I think, again, empowering the state to continue its leadership, to really be a model nationwide for what it looks like to really kind of protect some of these initiatives and these programs with such a strong foundation that we have here, I think has really been the kind of crux of our talking points today.
You are the policy director of your organization,
That's right.
so you know what you're doing around this building. You know how to advocate, you know how
Sure.
to lobby. Part of today, I know, was also just all of the women that were coming down for this particular day and making sure they knew how to advocate efficiently, how to talk to their lawmakers, how to advocate on behalf of themselves. What was that process like? Why is that so important for these fields in particular?
Yeah, I mean, because tradeswomen are so few and far between in many ways, it's really important that they're able to share their stories, because their stories are not out sort of in the narrative for the general public. And, legislators, as you know, they can't be experts on every single subject. And so the tradeswomen are really coming down here as subject matter experts to their own experiences and the barriers that they're experiencing. We had a really great training led by the Illinois AFL-CIO this morning on talking to representatives, sharing stories, making sure they understand why these issues are important. And I think, tradeswomen have felt really empowered to meet with the folks who are representing them here in Springfield. For a lot of people, this was their first trip to Springfield today, and people had, again, a really great experience and a really great welcome. So I'm hoping we can take that back to Chicago and districts all across the state, do some in-district visits over the summer, and really continue that conversation with our representatives.
I know there's the resolutions that you've already
Yeah.
mentioned. Are any actual hard, I shouldn't say actual, legislation, any bills that you guys are looking to file as well alongside the resolutions, or are we sticking with just the resolutions for now?
Yeah, for this year, it's just going to be the resolutions. Yeah, again, Illinois actually has a really strong kind of scaffolding of law already set up to protect tradeswomen on the job and really kind of ask the contractors do their part in making sure that we have equitable hiring. We've got bid incentives, we've got project monitoring, we've got all these great tools already sort of in law. And so we're really just reminding the General Assembly that these things exist and that we really need to make the most use of them. Enforcement is half of the battle. We get laws passed, but we need to implement and enforce them. And I think that's really what we want to be talking to folks about today.
Well, Beth, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
That will do it for us on this week's episode of Capital Connection. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you again next week. For Capital Connection, I'm Cole Hank.